Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of Into the Mind of Pack. We have on feature today Hani. We're going to be featuring Swordsoul and how we played through 5 disruptions going second with no going second cards at all. Like, no hand trap, nothing. Just straight engine cards. And, like, how we made reads on back row, how we played through, like, the disruptions and all that good stuff. So, let's jump right into it. All right. Hani, yo, this was like a money match, right? This is like game 3 of a money match, essentially.
Game three of a money match. Yep.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so I mean, it's game 3. Opponent lost game 2, so he's gonna be going first. I think for this one, we're actually gonna keep the hands hidden, just so that, like, as the opponent reveals info, like, little by little, we can, like, kind of like explain our thought process on, like, what he potentially has in his hand, like the plays he's doing, like, all that good stuff. So um, let's just start off with the game. So he opens cat. We have no hand trap. I mean, what was going through your mind, bro? You were probably sick, right? Yo, we thought we
Yeah,
lost. I
I was
remember we thought
like
we lost this game.
in the previous games. Okay, this is game three. I've seen Sanctum, so uh, honestly, like right now, like I'm not really the engine. I'm really scared of like the non-engine
Yeah,
and
you're
like
scared. Yeah, the
the amount
floods.
of
Yeah.
the amount of floods or the backer that he could put up in game
Yep.
three. So uh, yeah, right now I'm like this is fine. I know that what this ends on like Revolt DPE.
Yep. Revolt
So
DP. Yep.
I'm just gonna let him pretty much just combo off
Yep. So
and
added
get to
fractal.
his end board. But the thing is about this combo, it's just so strong because you could pretty much get a draw off a blossom, put back cards like if you have any of the dead destiny cards, you could
Yep.
put those back, and you could see off prosperity that he hits a judgment here. So I'm like, okay, that's already a non-engine.
Yep.
Like he already has judgment. So like at this point, like if he has like judgment sanctum, like it's over. Like,
Yeah. Like we
but
were scared that, like, the only reason we would auto lose the game if it was like a flood backed up with, like, judgment. And we've seen Sanctum in previous games, so that was, like, the biggest worry. And if you paid attention to Banish, he banished 6 off Prosperity, which implies he was digging for the Flood.
yeah,
Because he already has combo. So that was very scary,
yeah,
but it also could be a telltale sign that he maybe doesn't have the Flood, and he's looking for it because he banished 6. So that's something to
yep,
keep in mind too. And then if you look at the Prosperity Banish itself, we saw it was like the only realistic cards you can pick are either Fusion Destiny or Judgment, right? The other 4, like, we don't even consider. We're not even looking at them. But we have that potentially it's Fusion Destiny or Judgment. He's already gonna do the combo that sends Fusion Destiny, so he doesn't need it. And he's not. I don't think he's reading any hand traps because the cat resolve. So I mean,
yep.
makes sense why he got Judgment there, to be honest. So let's just
And
move.
like the thing about this hand that's so crazy, it's three Tenny monsters. Like every
Yeah.
hand that I see three Tenny monsters, a Tae and a Longyon, I'm like this hand, like alone, I could just tell plays through a revolt, plays through a DPE,
Yep.
plays through a judgment. I'm just like, dude, he just better have Sanctum at this point.
Yep. I mean, it's gonna get scary soon. You guys will see. So this was the card he added off Nerval. So nothing has been revealed information wise besides that we know Fusion Destiny and the Fractal he's about to summon off Frigid. So that's fine. He's gonna go banish 2 to summon Bear Room, standard here. Make Anaconda on top. Yeah, just standard try plays. Can't draw obviously because he prosperitied. Kept us on the field, which is funny. Send Fusion Destiny. So standard combo so far. So nothing really to add. He's gonna go DPE. Pop this. I personally don't even like this combo, bro. This combo loses to, like, infinite hand traps, but it is what it is. Like, for example, if I just held Valor for Anaconda, like, he's just stuck with a Bear Room on the field that can't be linked off. Like, there's, like, nothing you can link. He can't link off the Anaconda into anything, and he's just stuck Bear Room. Like, which is kind of interesting because, like, if you open, like, a Valor against, like, a Cat combo, you might even hold it all the way until, like, Anaconda low key. Something to consider. I don't know if that's always correct, but so he's gonna get Revolt. Put back a card. This combo bad doesn't on. Yeah. So now, okay, this is where we get scary. He sets 3 back row, right? We know Judgment, one of them.
That's all.
No,
He
doesn't he
sets
set one
all.
more? Oh my
That's
god, he sets
all. Yeah,
4.
yeah.
He sets
He
4,
sets
bro.
all.
Think about this. We what are known
Four backer.
disruptions? We know DPE, we know Revolt, and we know Judgment. So there's 2 unknowns, bro. Bro, yo, in our minds at this moment in time, we're like, this dude has a Sanctum, bro. I'm sick, bro. I'm literally so sick. But you're gonna see that, like, like, there's no point thinking that because if he has it and we have to literally pray the 6th card isn't out to the Sanctum. So let's do it. Oh my god, we drew Moye. Now keep in mind, at this moment in time, we're just sick, bro. We're just like puking blood, basically. Cause like you gotta understand, bro. Like if this guy's a flood, we ought to lose. But at the same time, we can't think like that. Cause like it's game 3, so you're definitely gonna play it out anyways. If he has it, then we just auto lose. There's nothing we can do. But we're gonna still try to play the best of our hands out. So like Hani, how would you like? What are the options? Like what are like, bro, what's running through your head right now, option wise?
Right now, right now, I'm waiting to see what position he summons DP in. Like that's like the first thing.
Yep.
Okay,
Someone's gonna attack.
so he summons it in an attack position. So immediately, I'm like, okay, he summons it in an attack position. The first thing I'm doing here is summoning Shatana
Yep.
because Shatana could force out this DPE.
Yep.
Because I can enter battle and crash, and then if he decides to pop the monk, then
Then you still can
I'm
like,
getting
yeah, bring it back basically, right?
I'm bringing it back, and if he doesn't pop the monk, like he has to revolt. So like right now, I'm pretty much forcing his hand to revolt, to either DPE it or revolt banish it in the battle phase. It's either one of the two.
Yep. So we go for Shatana. He's gonna actually pop it on summon. Not even let us
Yep.
get to the monk because for very obvious reasons, right? Because if we make the monk and he goes effect to pop the monk, we did our job of baiting the DPE, but then the water tenyi can banish itself to bring back the monk, which gives us like free value for no reason, right? So he's just gonna pop it immediately on summon, which makes sense from his part. So that's one interruption down. Now the point becomes like, how do we beat the last 4? So next line is you went special Ashuna, and it's just basically we want to commit as many tenyu cards to the board to force out cards as much as possible. We also have a line with Ashuna into Adhara for like the Boxia thing to like force out back row as well. So I mean we're just gonna test here what happens to the Ashuna afterwards because it's very likely this card could easily get revolted as well, right?
All these tenny cards could just get revolted. So like
Yeah.
the first thing I'm gonna try to do is play with the tenny card
Yep.
and see how much I can force with it.
Because
So
I think special summoning Ashuna over Adhara is also like decision tree, and the reason I think you summon Ashuna first is because if you like just hard revolts the Ashuna, then you can special Adhara, make the monk, and Adhara can add back the Ashuna and use Ashuna from the hand to summon Vishuddha, which gets another back row regardless, right? So I think that was the logic in our heads at that moment in time. Where like if he revolts this, then we can just Adhara back to Ashuna and we're still in a fine position because Ashuna is basically turns into a Vishuddha, and that Vishuddha hits another back row. So if he revolts this and we get Ashuna and Vishuddha, we hits another back row. So that means there's only 2 cards left after that's the beat. So
yeah.
he's gonna think here on summon. He said it's fine. We make another monk.
Yeah.
Okay.
After this, I go ahead and summon Adhara because like I said, I'm just trying to force as much back row with the tenny cards.
Yep.
And I know for a fact that this is going to force, this is going to force 3-2 back row usually.
Yep.
So
I
this
think we're
is gonna go
expecting
ahead.
judgment on box here, right? Or
Yeah, I'm expecting judgment on Boxia.
Yep.
So right here, summon Vishuddha, go for Boxia, and see
Yep.
if he takes the judgment on it.
He does. Right? Yep, he does. He takes the judgment on it. Yeah, I think Cody
Could be
mentioned that
at-
him letting us get this far rules out Sanctum, and that was the thing that like, the moment that he popped our water tenny on summon was when the moment we knew he didn't have Sanctum. So that was the thing that like basically made us like keep playing the game out. To be honest, too, which is like important. Because if he's just Sanctum, we were just dead. There's no point playing the game afterwards. But now leaves room for a comeback.
Yep. And now at this point, he's kind of forced to use Revolt on the monk.
Yep.
Or I can take this Vishuddha and
hit
I can
another
hit a
back row.
here.
Yep. You can go Vishuddha,
So-
hit another back row. At Hara, add back the Ashuna. Like you're getting free cards for no reason. So he's gonna have to revolt this, or else that he's just gonna lose a back row anyways, right? Do you think he should probably wait for Vishuddha to target a card, then chain it maybe? But if Vishuddha doesn't hit the revolt exactly, then he loses value for no reason. Yep.
Like right now, he doesn't want me to get the Adhara ad, and
Yep.
he doesn't want me to get to the
Vishuddha.
the Vishuddha bounce.
Yep.
So this takes out both. So
Yep.
for him to revolt here, it actually makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
because you don't want me to get this
Yep.
free ad for no reason
And that's
bounce back to back row.
exactly. And now so that's why it's really neat because the Ashuna and the Adhara here basically beat 2 back row. Like we cleared 2 more back row, right? Now the next point is we have to figure out what the last 2 back row are. I think we potentially thought one of them might be a second judgment too, right? Like that was also a possibility that we had to consider, and I think there was a way that we played around a potential second judgment. So let him resolve his effects, whatever.
Y'all, y'all just should see how I play around the right here. It wasn't really the second judgment that I was playing around. I was really just trying to play
Yeah,
around the impermanences as much as possible.
yeah, yeah. Because I think I told you too at when we were playing this. I'm like, yo, I think he has imperm, maybe second judgment, could be double imperm as well. Those were the possibilities we were thinking of. We're like, yo, imperm droplets. I think we were like imperm droplets, imperm, maybe imperm judgment or droplet judgment. Those were like literally the thoughts that are running through our head. So I mean, we're gonna work. I think we go Moye first. It didn't get judgmented, so we're like Moye got negated, and we're like, oh, Moye got negated. Oh, now it's just game because
Yep,
now like even if this last card is judgment, um, then we just shoot it immediately. And revealing Taie
yep,
here is like pretty big, yeah.
yep. Because now we get to go long. Discard the tie,
Make a
make
token,
the token.
Vishuda the back row, or at Hara add back a name first. Vishuda the back row. He just chains Imperm anyways to lock a column. And then it's just game. We make Chen Ying. And our monster is plus 11, and his Anaconda is 0. So that's just game.
And you go enter battle, swing into the verte, and that's game.
Yep.
And the thing is about this game state, you just have to recognize when your opponent judgments, you just have to immediately recognize game
Yeah.
because it's just so easy to kill shot when your opponent pays half their life points,
Yep.
especially after using verte anaconda. So
Yeah.
like right away, like some people would have been like, oh, right here I'm gonna synchro away, get a moye draw.
Yep.
Nah, none of
Play
that.
into more cards for
None
no
of that.
reason. Yeah.
You play it nice and simple, bro. Just
Yep.
synchro 10, burn your opponent for 12, tack over the verte, call it,
You know
call
what's
it a game.
crazy?
That's it.
You know how he added a kit off the thing, and then he Frigid drew into an Ash Blossom. Bro, he had an Ash Blossom in his
And
hand too.
that's exactly what I'm saying. But if you burn your opponent for 12 here and then an attack,
Yep.
that's still game. That's
Yep.
still game.
Yeah.
That's 37 points of damage. There's no out to it.
It was all
Like
out. Yep.
you do not want to like take a chance that you make Shishao and you Shishao and he drew into a Veiler. He could Veiler you, and it's just not game at that point.
Yep. Might not be game
Not winning
exactly.
at that game. No, yeah. At
Yeah.
that point,
It
you have
wouldn't
to
be
like.
it wouldn't be game because you get Veiler. You have to rely on a random draw. Yeah.
So I was like, "There's no way I'm putting this random card on not being a Veiler. I just have to play around that as well. I
Yep.
just played around everything. I even the unknown that he drew.
Yep. The only thing he could have drawn off that, I think we were saying, would be like Nib. And we're like, bro, if this guy drew Nib over this, like we were never winning. Like it was just never like
Yeah,
supposed for us to win. But you can't think like
yeah.
that. Like when you think to like literally the only things you lose to, and there's like no like you keep like it's just like like you get what's the word for it? There's like a word in Greek for it. Like I remember like hearing about it in my philosophy class, but it's like you get put in this state of like paralysis where like, you think about they have all these crazy cards and you're like you just don't make a play. You know what I'm saying? It's like at some point you're like, yo, you have to just put them on better drawing Nib off Frigid, bro. Like, you know what I'm
The
saying?
perfect word, you choke, bro. It
Yeah.
happens all the time.
Yeah.
Where you play around cards you shouldn't even be playing around, and you just got to go for it. Sometimes you got to put your opponent on better habit.
Yeah.
I was like, at this point, you better have it. You already used
Yeah.
the double imperm,
Yep.
revolt, and you use DPE. Like I'm like, there's just no way. If you have
Hmm.
another interruption, then that's it. Like you
Yeah.
got me.
So some people say maybe he could destroy the Preda plan with DPE. Even if he did, so like you would go, he's at 18. His monster is minus 11 from the Chen Ying, and he's plus 11. So Chen Ying is 41 to his 19. And then you attack with that, and then Moya attacks directly. It's still game.
I
So
think he
it
would
just
still
didn't
be on board
matter.
if that's the case.
Yeah, there's
DP,
I don't think he could have played this any differently to survive. To be honest with you, like, and the
yeah,
thing
like
is, even if he somehow like, I think the other important thing about this replay is that you kind of take advantage of obvious plays your opponent makes, right? So like for example, like when we sequenced like the tendies in that way, we knew what interactions he was baiting, basically, right? So like you play the cards in a way where you knew that like anyone who plays the deck on the other side is probably going to interact this way with it, or they're going to interact this way with it. So by like playing it in a way where like we know that he's going to respond, quote unquote, because it's optimal, or like because like it's the right thing to do, then you take advantage of that because you're basically
now,
abusing the fact that they make the right play, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah. Now there's a couple things that my opponent could have done differently. I
Yep.
think like this game could have definitely been more in his favor, just if he puts that DPE in defense. The moment he
Yeah.
put that in attack position,
The water
it just
tendency just
allowed
forced
my
out cards.
Shatana.
Yeah.
It allowed my Shatana to become live, and like in this, and like, and nobody's thinking about the water tenny when you're playing the Sword Soul deck,
Yeah.
right? Like no
Yep.
one is. But dude, that actually matters because right there, it just won me the game because it forced an interruption for no reason. For no reason. Like as
Yeah.
soon as he summoned it in attack position, I'm like, okay, this outs DPE or revolt.
Yep. I agree.
As soon as he let Ashuna go through and he didn't go for the revolt, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like this is gonna eat the revolt and the judgment down the line.
Yep. Yep.
I go for Monk, get some of the Ihara, some of the Vashuda. Judgment has to come down on Boxia. That card's way too strong, and you do not want to risk farming
He
a
yeah,
Boxia
to a
when heavenly
circle. Yeah.
when you know heavenly circles in the deck.
Yep.
So like he has to judgment
That was
that.
an auto judgment. Yeah,
He
because like
literally
if yeah,
he literally has to. I knew he had to. He was like, I'm not even taking the chance for it. He didn't want to take the chance at all. There's droplets that I could have. There's
anything,
circle that I could have.
literally anything. Yeah.
Literally any one of those spells that contributed his cost. It's an auto out to an imperm. So
Yep.
he immediately had a judgment it.
Yep. I agree. I agree. And that's pretty much the game.
Yeah.
Much quicker. I think this one is like probably like 60 minutes, guys. But don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on like the replay. If you learned anything awesome from this, and of course, shout out to my boy Hani for getting on and doing this with me. And
You already know.
and yeah, guys, let me know what deck you also want to see, what other replays you want to see, and we can go more. More into like some more analysis for you guys. But it's a lot quicker because there's only one game out of many, and we have a lot more good examples of like these types of like interactions on like how to like play through like boards and all that good stuff. So
Oh yeah, we'll be doing a lot of these. I think. I
yep,
think we'll be doing a lot of these
yeah,
down the line.
just
You should see how many matches we play a
yeah,
day,
yeah.
especially me.
Because you guys, like, the thing is, these matches that I show you guys, like, I'm in the call with Hani, like, playing with him. Like, I think that's, like, the biggest thing you guys gotta understand as you're watching this is, like, we're, like, talking about these plays because we've played them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and these are discussions we were having in the call as we're, like, making these plays. It's not just, like, I'm just gonna click buttons, you know? It's like, yo, what if we do this? And it interacts with that. Okay, let's consider doing this next. And I think because it's all about sequencing, right? And like the information reveals slowly, piece by piece, and it also at the same time reveals more cards that they have as well. And that's like the best way to play through like quote unquote back row. This is not a back row deck by any chance, but it's like one of the best ways to like pick apart your opponent's back row and figure out slowly what they have. I mean, some people play non-standard. Like some people like kind of like don't use their cards at the right time or they do like weird stuff. And
But this
sometimes
was played pretty like I feel like this
yeah.
was played pretty well. I feel like
Yeah.
everything he did had a reason
Yeah,
behind
it
it.
was in bad.
And
It
like
had a good reason. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
honestly, like I just don't think that there could have been like a sequence that could have been different because like those imperms are just so dead. They're
Yeah.
just so dead.
Yep.
So dead. And
Tenugars.
against the tenny cards, like imperms and like Valors just
Awful.
they're
Yeah.
just awful, terrible.
Yep. Yep. But all right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. All right. Easy.